Where is she?
I don't know where she is.
Where is Savannah?
No. Where did you go with her? I know you're not that cruel inside. I'm begging you, Lee. Just tell us.
I don't know where she is.
In the heart of Springfield, the city of USA, the night carried with it an eerie stillness. Savannah, a young woman full of life and ambition, was simply going about her routine, a simple walk home after a long day. Little did she know, her every step was being watched. The streets, once familiar, would soon become the backdrop to a horrifying tragedy. Savannah walked confidently, unaware of the danger lurking close. This was the last time anyone would see Savannah alive. Captured by the cold lens of a security camera, she enters a building that, for her, meant safety, but the walls that sheltered her from the outside world couldn't protect her from what was about to happen. Each frame of this footage now stands as a haunting reminder of what she didn't know. Her final steps were being tracked by someone with sinister intent. And then there was Lee. He followed her into that building, not as a stranger, but as a predator stalking his prey. His demeanour was calm, his movements deliberate. To anyone watching, he might have seemed like just another person walking down the street, but his mind was racing, calculating every step. Lee wasn't looking for a conversation or a chance encounter. He was looking for control, for dominance. He had already decided what was going to happen that night. Every step he took, every second he followed Savannah was part of a twisted plan that had only one end. No one truly knows what happened in those final moments. The cameras, cold and silent, captured the visual evidence but could not record the terror that must have filled the room. Did Savannah sense something was wrong? Did she try to escape? We will never know. But what we do know is that in those brief moments, Savannah's life came to a violent end. Lee attacked her with a force that can only be described as savage, fueled by a rage we may never fully understand. His actions were quick, ruthless, and utterly without mercy. In a matter of minutes, a young woman's life, filled with potential and dreams, was extinguished. Lee thought he had outsmarted the system. After the crime, he left the scene, blending into the night, assuming that his actions would go unnoticed. For days, he carried on with his life, as if nothing had happened. But what Lee didn't count on was the tireless effort of the investigators, the detectives who would stop at nothing to uncover the truth. Savannah's murder shook the city, and the police were relentless in their pursuit of justice. Evidence slowly started to build, small, seemingly insignificant pieces that, when put together, pointed directly to Lee. It wasn't long before he became their primary suspect. The interrogation...
Hey,
Good. You remember me from the other day? Detective Reeves? Okay. This is my partner, Detective Staley.
was a psychological battle, one that would require patience, intelligence, and strategy. The detective knew that Lee wouldn't confess easily. He needed to be led into a trap, slowly, carefully. The room was small, almost claustrophobic, the air thick with tension. Lee, once confident, now looked uneasy. The detective didn't rush. He didn't need to. He let the silence speak for itself, knowing that the weight of Lee's guilt would begin to press down on him, and it did. The questioning started slowly, with simple, direct inquiries designed to lull Lee into a false sense of control. But with each passing minute, Lee's carefully crafted facade began to crack.
So we kind of connected, hung out for a little while. I'd probably say a period of 2-3 months.
Okay.
And then she started using drugs a lot. I did them with her a couple times, and then she started to get heavy into them. And
oh, gotcha. Okay.
So I kind of just tried to take a step back and, put things off. And then probably a month or so ago. I saw Savannah at work, and she looked healthy again. You know, she gained a little bit of weight. We kind of were talking, you know, here and there. We hung out a couple times. She came over to the house, and, you know, we just kicked back, drank a couple beers, watched movies, stuff like that.
So, Savannah, you said that you knew her and you guys had, you knew her from work. I mean, just kind of fill me in with that. How long have you known her?
Like I said, I've known her obviously since she started working there. I would say probably about 8 months ago, we started hanging out outside of work. And at the time, I had a girlfriend, but we kind of connected, me and Savannah. So we hung out a little bit here and there, got pretty close. We come from, I guess, somewhat similar backgrounds, I guess you should say. And then as we hung out, you know, after a couple of times, she brought drugs over. I told her, I was like, you know, you're doing really good. You can't, you know, you shouldn't be doing it again. I think we moved too fast. Split mutual ways.
Mutual. Right. Yeah.
And that was the last time that we text.
Okay.
When was that? Yeah. When was that?
It was probably 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Okay.
Sometime in July.
Right. Yeah, and I think that's one of the things you said was that was the last time that you had contact with her.
Yes.
As far as, I don't want to put words in your mouth, so I mean you correct me.
That was the last time that I texted her.
Yeah, text or a phone call or messenger
Yeah.
or anything like that. 2 to 3 weeks ago. Yeah. Okay. And then the last time, when was the last time you saw her?
This is what I was a bit. I didn't tell you the truth when we talked at Bonefish.
Okay.
Last time I saw her was Wednesday afternoon.
Okay.
I heard that she has been basically telling a lot of people at work that we hooked up a bunch, like a couple days before that.
Yeah.
So I met her in the parking lot at Bonefish.
When was this?
Wednesday afternoon.
Okay. Well, do you know what time or about?
It was about 5:30.
The detective's questions became more pointed, his tone more assertive. The psychological pressure was mounting. Lee, who had entered the room with the confidence of a man who thought he could outsmart the system, was now faltering. His lies were becoming tangled, his story inconsistent. The detective pushed harder, using.
I parked and I said, hey, can I talk to you for a second? And she said, yeah, what's up? And I was like, I heard you've been saying some things about me and you continuing to hang out, and you know that we're boyfriend and girlfriend. And she asked me, she said, can I come sit in the car? Because I just did some heroin and I'm a little paranoid. So she came and sat in the car, and I explained to her the situation. I told her that servers at Bonefish were coming to me and telling me that you're telling people when you're out that we're boyfriend and girlfriend. And I said, I need you to stop, because for one, it's jeopardizing my job. We agreed to, you know, stop talking mutually and just move on, but it was nothing more than that. And she said, I'm gonna do what I want. I didn't tell anybody anything. At that point, I got out and I punctured the hole in the tire. And I said, no, stop. And I said, don't do it again, or next time it's gonna be worse. It's gonna be your windows. At that point, she had her phone in her hand. She got out of the car and walked towards the main entrance from San Jose.
Lee's own words against him, catching him in small contradictions that would eventually lead to his downfall. The interrogation had now reached its climax. Lee, no longer in control, was backed into a corner. He stammered, his voice trembling as he tried to keep up with the detective's relentless questioning.
It looked like she was either texting or calling somebody.
Okay.
Because as she started walking towards there's an entrance to the plaza. She was walking maybe towards this way, and I would say an older model Ford pickup, green.
Okay.
Drove past me and around, and she got in.
Okay. How long do you think it was between the time that she got out and started using her phone till that green truck pulled up?
Maybe 5 minutes.
Okay. So wow. So if she called somebody, they got there in 5 minutes to pick her up?
Well, I mean, like I said, it looked like she was going to call somebody, and that's when the green truck came around, and she got in.
So she gets in the truck. What happened at that point?
They drove back around, kind of looped around a little bit.
Which way did they drive?
So I guess they exited that way, and at that point, I left.
What happened to your neck?
That was self-inflicted, actually.
Why?
I just have been having kind of a hard time.
To your neck?
I couldn't. Yeah, I did. And
What did you use?
a knife.
When did you do that?
Some time in July.
You did that in July and it's still
Yeah.
bloody?
Well, I kind of peel the scab here and there at work, hitting it on stuff like that. I peeled it last night working. And it was coming off a little bit today, so I peeled that a little bit.
All right, let me see.
But this was the same night. This one was just a lot worse
Yeah.
than this one was.
Okay. And that was in July?
Yeah.
Okay. Like a few weeks back.
Yeah.
Okay. Could you see who the person in the truck was?
The truck had fairly tinted windows. I saw a baseball cap.
Yeah. You see a guy, girl, white, black?
I couldn't really tell if it was a guy or a girl.
Okay.
I just remember seeing the truck drive and her get in.
Yeah.
And obviously I'm sitting in front and the truck drives right past me.
Yeah.
And I saw a baseball cap through the passenger window.
Okay.
But
So did it seem like she knew the person?
I mean, she got right in.
Lee, why didn't you mention this before since we've been looking for this girl? I mean, don't you think that information
I mean,
is important?
it definitely does. And I regret obviously not saying anything before.
So when I come up and talk to you yesterday, I'm not threatening. I'm talking to everybody up there. What? Why?
Well, I just, I freaked out, to be honest with you. I mean,
this girl's missing?
yes.
Okay, but you know she's been missing. I mean, you had to know.
Obviously, I was the last one to see her, so
Yeah.
I was a little bit scared at that. And
How do you know you just said you weren't the last one to see her. You just said somebody in a truck.
Well, I mean, the last one to see her at Bonefish.
Okay.
That the last one she's heard from.
Right.
I had contact with that anybody knows of.
Sure.
Every answer he gave only made things worse, and he knew it. The weight of his lies was crushing him, and it was only a matter of time before he broke. The detective could sense it. Lee was close to confessing, close to finally admitting the truth. All it took was one final push, one carefully placed question, and the facade came crashing down.
So where's Savannah right now?
I don't know.
Where would I find her?
I don't know.
That's my prime objective, is to find her.
Definitely.
And here's a couple reasons I need to find her. One is I'm hoping that she's still alive. And that's really, I really do, I'm holding out for that. And if she's not alive, then I think she and her family are due that knowledge. I think they need some closure. So where is she?
I don't know where she is.
Where is Savannah?
I don't know.
I need to know where Savannah is so I can
don't
let
know
her family
where
know.
she is.
You don't know because you had something done with her and you weren't involved in that part? I don't know. Tell me something. What can I work with?
I told you the last time I saw her.
But that's not true because we have proof. We have proof. And that's why we're sitting here, Lee. At this point, we need this for her. I mean, I look at that little girl and I think of my little girl. My little girl who's her age. That's who I think about. If that was my little girl, I couldn't imagine. I don't care what she said about you or whatever, but my little girl is that age.
Maybe
And you're not telling the truth.
Maybe something gets out of hand in the car.
I didn't do anything.
Okay, you didn't do
Okay,
anything, but she was
okay.
in your car. She never got out of your car. She never got out of your car, Lee.
And then it happened. Under the pressure, Lee finally confessed. The words he had been holding back. For days, the truth he thought he could bury came spilling out. He admitted to everything. The cold, calculated murder of Savannah, the details of his attack. In that moment, the case was no longer a mystery.
Gets out of that car and you drive off. She never gets out of that car. There is no green truck, and that's not right to her. We're fact finders, Lee. I don't have anything personal against you.
No, not at all. I mean, it's
We're just
over.
fact finders.
tell us
We're
what
just
happened.
doing
Where
our
is she?
job. No. Where did you go with her? Where did you go with her, Lee? Be human. You're a human. You're a man. Where did you go with her? I know you're not that cruel inside.
Maybe you don't know where she is now. Where did you go with her?
Please. I'm begging you, Lee. I know you're not an evil person. I don't see that in you. I don't see that in your history. I don't hear those things about you at work. Is she still at your house?
No.
Okay. Is she still in your car?
No.
Okay. Well, then where is she? What was going on in the back seat? For the doors to be kicked open. She kicked open that door 3 times, Lee. She kicked it. We saw it. And you know I'm not making it up, because I wouldn't know this, because I wasn't there unless we had video of it, correct? Yes, correct. I'm not trying to trick you. I'm just a fact finder.
I mean, she was upset. She tried to slap me. I slapped her. She went to get out. I grabbed her around her waist and said, "Where are you going? Why are you hitting me?" She calmed down and we left.
Why would she leave with you after that? Why would she?
I mean, we've gotten arguments plenty of times where she says she doesn't care what happens or anything like that.
All right. Sometimes people do wrong things, right? Sometimes people make mistakes. It's what you do afterwards. I got a family that needs closure. They are now coming to the reality that she's no longer with us. Do you want people to remember you as a guy who said, okay, look, I'm going to do the right thing? Or do you want your family and everybody else to think that you're some evil, heartless person who won't tell us where she is? I don't think you're that kind of guy. I don't think you're evil. Just tell us where she is. Closure for her family.
She was hitting me. She wouldn't stop, and I squeezed back. I squeezed her hard.
You squeezed her around her neck or around her neck?
She just wouldn't let go. I didn't let go.
Where is she now?
Please tell us where she is.
All I want to do is leave me. It's on the west side of the Club du Clay
Club du Clay?
Yeah.
Okay.
at Longchamp.
Yeah. Okay.
Lee, the man who thought he could escape justice, had sealed his own fate with his confession. Lee was immediately arrested and charged with murder. The evidence against him was overwhelming. His confession, the CCTV footage, the witness testimonies. There was no escaping the consequences of his actions. For Savannah's family, the news of Lee's arrest brought a bittersweet sense of relief. The man responsible for their daughter's death would be brought to justice, but no amount of legal punishment could ever fill the void left by Savannah's absence. Savannah was more than just another victim of crime. She was a daughter, a friend, a young woman with dreams and ambitions. Her family and friends remember her as someone full of life, someone who had so much to offer the world, but all of that was taken away in an instant. Lee's actions didn't just end one life, they shattered an entire community. For those who loved Savannah, the pain of her loss is something they will carry with them forever. Her life, so full of potential, was cut short, leaving behind a legacy of memories and unanswered questions. In the end, this case is a reminder of how fragile life can be. A simple walk home turned into a nightmare, a young woman's life stolen in an act of senseless violence. Savannah's story is one of tragedy, but it's also a story of justice. Her killer was caught and the truth was brought to light. But for Savannah's family and friends, the pain of her loss will never truly fade. Her memory will live on, a beacon of light in a world that can sometimes feel overwhelmingly dark.